Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits, a Motorcast. This show is Dave, and I got online a special guest with me, Ryan Hill. How are you, Ryan?
Hey, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. So, how's your day?
Oh, not too bad. It's finished up work. Don't work tomorrow. Going first thing in the morning. Going right to the shop and then keep on tinkering away until we're ready to go racing.
So, Ryan, when did all this drag racing begin for you?
Oh, I would say, I've been a gearhead since I was a kid. I'm pretty sure I got my first Hot Wheels at like 5, 4 probably. Dad made sure we were hooked as kids. Actually, I probably remember, my dad used to be a street racer back in the, I'd say late 90s, so even as a kid, I'd always be with him in the garage, and that's something that I fell in love with this stuff like that. I fell in love with this racing like right away. Cars, all of it. Give me anything that has an engine, I wanted to be a part of it. Now, the racing stuff started with Dad, for sure. That was something that he enjoyed, and he kind of, eventually, it worked its way from the street racing to him actually buying a nice 63 Nova back in 99, and that's when we really started going racing. And it wasn't until probably about 2000 he found a junior, and then once I jumped into that, it's been balls to the wall since 2000 with racing, and honestly, it's a full blown lifestyle for us, and it's something that I won't stop doing till it kills me, probably.
Yeah. So how long were you in the junior dragster for?
We did juniors from 2000 to 2008, traveling all the way around the Midwest. We did a lot of racing in Chicagoland. You know, Joliet was our good home for a while. Then we kind of migrated across the lake over to Michigan, up into Kalamazoo, and then we raced Grand Rapids. Mid-Michigan Motor Park, that's where it is. We did a lot of racing out that way, then kind of drifted over to OCO and Elkhart. That was one of our other favorite tracks that we just loved going, because the people there were so good back in the day to us. And even now, I try to poke my way over there and go see people here and there and this and that. So yeah, but no, we did a lot of the junior racing around here. We kind of didn't do as much traveling as we wanted to. I'd say like farthest for us was Bristol. We always did the Eastern Conference Finals every year, and that was always one of the things that we really enjoyed, was being able to go down there and hang out with the best of the best all the time.
So did you get a lot of wins with the junior dragster?
More than I can count. As far as I know, as far as what we've been able to calculate with, if we remember right, I'm pretty sure it was like somewhere around 1,100 runs in the race in the juniors over the 8 years, and I want to say it was something like, I think we had like a win percentage of like 70% as far as like rounds of racing won, was right around 70% in the 8 years, and that was Dad kept a pretty good tabs of what we were doing, because we like to see how we stacked up. It was something that we really were striving. We were just striving to be good. We always set goals as we were doing it. So every year we'd have a different goal. It's just like win so many rounds, win so many races, or something like that. Try to set a goal so you have something to work to. And it paid off for us. I had a younger brother who was in it with me, and I tell you what, we tore up most of Michigan for a couple years. I'd say from 04 to 08, we did our fair share of winning. It was a lot of fun, but the best part of it was family. It was all of us all together, me, mom, dad, and brother.
So what'd you graduate into after the junior dragsters?
Actually, right after the junior dragsters, I actually jumped into. I actually had somebody who actually raced at Osceola offer me a ride in his 82 Malibu. It was like a 406 small block, nice little 1060 car. And actually, the very first race I ever raced in a door car was at a Pink Fallout qualifying race, which was the most surreal weekend of my life. I still remember that day like it was the craziest thing ever. I go from a junior that runs 790s to a full-fledged door car that runs 1060s at 125 mile an hour. And I just remember the funniest thing I ever had happen. It was the very first run. Hit the handbrake, put the car right to the. I put the pedal to the floor, let go of the button, and my foot comes right off the throttle. It blocks me back in the seat so far. I remember I stabbed that throttle, went like 11 flat at 125, and after that I was like, all right, I want to do this shit.
Yeah. So let me ask you one more question about the junior dragster. What was the fastest run time you've had with the junior dragster?
I one time, did some kind of outlaw deal, and it was like, I think we went 724 at 92 mile an hour to the 8th mile. And one of those things, that was probably the coolest thing ever. You pull all the weight off that car and just go. It was the cool.
And so what else did you drive after the next car after the junior dragster?
After the juniors, there was a little hiatus in between. Dad actually had stepped into a top alcohol dragster, so that's kind of where the rest of the racing went on to was a few years with me crewing with him. There was a few years between that last car, and then I actually managed to step into a top dragster for about 2.5 seasons. Dave Moldenhauer is a guy in Lowell, Indiana. He gave me the opportunity to drive his nostalgia dragster. Actually, it's the 1972 period correct rear engine dragster. That was actually my first experience of a full blown fast race car. Big block Chevy, 1471. I think it was a Mooneyham blower on that car. You know, it'd go 750s all day long. It was honestly such a fun car to drive. That thing picked the front wheels. That thing carried 100 feet on the back tire all day long.
So does your brother still drag race?
My brother is actually not. He's kind of run his own way. He's done his own. He did it with us. He was good at it, which was the crazy part. The kid had a knack for it. But you know, as we got older, we all started doing our different things in life. So, but no, he's still involved here and there. Actually, he does come over and hang out with us, and he'll actually when we fire up the car, he's usually there to give us a hand sometimes, most of the time. But no, he actually doesn't drive much. He actually doesn't drive at all. But you know, there's that talk of him wanting to come back and do it. We really hope he does come back and does it, because we do want him back.
Right. So now what?
Oh yeah, it's good.
So now, what year did this blown alcohol car come into play?
Well, that was kind of an agreement that I had with my dad. My dad's like, you know what? I want you to do school. I want you to finish and do what you do. I graduated college with 2 degrees. Both of them were kind of in the manufacturing world. So I'm a machinist, CNC machinist, manual machinist. I went to school for it. So the goal was he says, you graduate, we'll take a look at what you can find. And funny story, you know, I was done and graduated. We were still running the top alcohol car, so I was just kind of you know, scrolling through racing junk. You know, there's beautiful cars here, and then we came across this car we have now, and you know, the gorgeous car, big old nitrous car. I'm like, you know, it's a nitrous car, but it's gorgeous, you know. So I marked it. Come back a couple weeks later, and then, you know, it's still the same ad, and the thing's like $30,000 cheaper than what it was. So I'm like, Dad, call. So 3 weeks later, we're going to get this car, and you know, we've had it ever since. It took us about 2 years to take it from the nitrous, the big block Chevy nitrous car to a blown Hemi deal, and we've never looked back on this thing. You know what, this car, you know what, for what it is, for a company that we've never heard of, for a chassis company, this car has been nothing but stellar for us. You know, we're getting quicker and quicker there. We're learning a little bit more tune-ups each year as we do it. We're just still trying to get it all figured out. I mean, we do this with old school parts and pieces. You know, we still run a 6-shooter in the car. A lot of guys are running grids or race pack systems or fuel tech or something like that. Everybody's all up in the new, and we keep it old school. You know, it allows us to be able to afford it. I guess you can say we're still budget guys. We're no big time racers. We do this for the love of it. You know, it's something that drives me and my dad. I mean, it keeps us. I don't know. We're still having fun and enjoying life.
Yeah, you're like the Chicago Wiseguys. You know, no big budget.
No big budget. You know, we're here to have some fun. We have a good time. We go race. You know, we're serious. We're serious. Of course, we're serious about our stuff. But at the same time, at the end of the day, you know what? You know, we enjoy this. And the day that we stop enjoying it, the day we stop doing it. But since we're 18 years later, there's no quit sight. That's for sure. My goal is one day to try Pro Mod or Pro Boost. If I ever find the right funding, that goal is PDRA Pro Boost.
So now what?
One day.
So what's the quickest run time you'd had with this car?
Then 405 with it, 180 mile an hour. We did that in Rockingham in 2015, and we've struggled with the car a little bit here and there. We're on the right path to have the good parts and pieces in it. You know, it seems like It's getting a little better, but we haven't been racing at the higher caliber tracks we were racing back in 2015. You know, we were able to do a bit more traveling because we had a couple people to travel with. The Tanner family out of Rensselaer, they loaded up our car for, I think, 3 races and took us to some of these good racetracks. So we've kind of been racing on some of the, I wouldn't say not good racetracks, but not like, you know, PDRA caliber stuff. But we've gone O's at like Mile and Dragway. We won their Friday night series out there in Detroit, and that's probably, you know, it's an 8-car field. Those guys pay $2,500 to win. July 4th weekend, it's a 16-car field. I'm pretty sure it's like $4 or $5 grand to win. You can't beat it. You go out there and play at these racetracks, and, you know, they love you out there. We like doing that stuff. The heads-up stuff kind of came around for us. It just kind of popped up. You know, we won a race in 2016, just kind of, once you showed up to the racetrack to test, they're like, hey, you know, for like $100, you guys can jump in this $5,000 heads-up race. And I said, you know what? Let's do it. Not thinking anything. We ended up winning the deal. We were hooked ever since then. We haven't gone top sports racing in 2 years. We decided we like this heads-up stuff, this grudge and heads-up stuff. A lot of fun.
So now, since you've been running this car, who's been your greatest competitor?
Say what? Who's my greatest competitor?
Yeah, who has been your greatest competitor out there so far?
Oh, I got a buddy of mine out of Michigan, Brandon Wakeland. He's a big old freaking nitrous-fed car. We talk a lot of smack with each other, and you know what? But, you know, he's one of our best friends. He's one of our good guys. But, man, that's the guy that we up the ante to race all the time. We just it's something about beating up on those guys with bottles, man. That's what we like doing. We like beating up on them bottle lovers, dudes. They're a lot of fun. But the thing is, though, with him, though, man, he's a good dude, and we always enjoy racing him. But that's like my favorite guy to race. And I say there's just probably one more. We started dipping into this import versus domestic stuff out here in Michigan. And it runs very heavy on the East Coast with the World Cup and stuff like that, where a lot of like the pro import guys go race. So we got a few that show up to March and June. And there's a couple fast guys that we run. We like racing. Blue Destiny, one of the beautiful 2JZ power Toyota Celica. I know he ain't a fan of seeing my tail lights, but I'm sure glad he loves them. But those are probably the 2 guys that we like racing the most because they're just good. They're good racers. You know, it's all fun. It's all fun. We all love it, but when y'all put the helmet on, it's serious.
Exactly. So now, when you started drag racing, what drivers were inspirational to you?
Oh, if you want to go back to the days, I grew up watching like guys like Steve Grayback and Tony Christian and stuff like that. All of those guys were guys back in the day that were just like dudes that I loved. The pro street guys, that, you know, and that Celebs was another one that the pro street style or the super pro classes back in the day. That was the shit that I grew up on as a kid. You know, and I think my favorite experience was I sat in Tony Christensen. I think I want to say one of his Pontiac Firebirds that he had. I believe he had one. And I still got a picture of me somewhere sitting in one of his cars, my little, 4-foot-tall ass back in the day sitting in the seat of his car. And that was always one of the guys you looked up to as a kid because he's just, I don't even want to say, he was the John Force of the pro street days. It's like those are the guys you always liked. And Steve Grayback was always Steve Grayback before he passed. You know, he was just a damn good diehard racer that you loved. You loved. Those were your guys that you looked up to all the time.
Right. So let me ask you this: what was it like getting behind the wheel for this car? You know, getting out of the alcohol dragster and moving into this car. How was that for you?
For me, out of the alcohol car to the door car,
yeah.
Dragster to the door car. I'd say, you know what? I love dragsters, but I think what I like the challenge of driving the door car. Short wheelbase thing. All it wants to do is kill your ass. You know, the tire is a foot behind you, right behind your back. That 35-inch tall Mickey Thompson's right behind you, and it's something about it. Short wheelbase. You can't see over the blower. You can't see to the left of you. All you have is a narrow gap in front of you. You know, and the engine's 2 feet in front of your legs. I've always had a love for the pro body class and the door cars. whether or not it be the Pro Street guys or the Outlaw 10-5 or something like that. Even back to the heavy street days, the 3,500-pound cars. It was just something that's cool because like not a single race car is the same. And I think that's what always drew me to it. Was like you were always able to tell. You always had your favorite kind of race cars. And that's what I always love is that you can go to any racetrack in any class that runs, fast or even any of the bracket weekend. And not a single car is the same. Dragsters are great. Don't get me wrong. I love them. They are still fun to drive, and I still like driving some diggers here and there. But I gotta love the go cars. It's just pro mods. Pro mods are just wild and dumb, and they're just they are stupid fast.
Right. So now, what kind of car is your car?
2002 Pontiac Firebird. It was built in 2005 by TNT Chassis Works. I want to say they were somewhere, that was like Sarasota, Florida or something like that was originally where they were from. We had picked that car up in 2012 and spent 2 years, actually almost to the date we bought the car. We actually, 2 years later, put it together and we made our first hits in Indy in 2014. And just kind of haven't looked back. The first full pull on that car was a 654 at 213. And prior to that weekend, I hadn't been faster than a 750 in my life. And that was just, I still remember that like it was yesterday because it was a miserably cold. It was freaking October. It was one of the last weekends that Indy had for a race. I think it was their Halloween bash or something like that. I just remember that. And my goal was just to go down there and just get licensed. And by the hair of my ass, we managed to do it with just enough runs that NHRA liked it. And then after that, we never looked back. We ran, most 2015 was spent running divisionals and running a couple IHRA races here and there. And 2016 is when we ran a few divisionals, ran some heads-up races. And then after that, we decided we wanted to go chase this kind of run what you brung, outlaw, quick 8, heads-up racing just because, the competition is good. I like driving race cars. The bracket racing stuff I grew up with, but we fell in love with this heads-up stuff. It's a whole different group of people. There's no whining, there's no bitching. At the end of the day, it's you in a race car and the other guy in his race car, and the first one at the end wins. Doesn't matter how the hell you do, And it's honestly, it's addicting. It's addicting. It's a lot of fun. We really do enjoy it.
So let's talk about the engine now. What do you got under the hood?
Right now, it's a piece together deal, but it's a 518 cubic inch Hemi. It's got a set of AJ stage 2s on it, DMP M4 blower. This is all stuff that was pieced together through Mick Snyder out of DeMott back in the day. Back in about 2014, we came to him with, we want to build something we can go fast with and know that we can go almost anywhere and qualify and never have any problems. So the idea side, we've always grown with us running the A fuel car back in the injected nitro days. We spent years, working with these Hemis and realized how much we liked them. And it's just that we wanted something different. We didn't want a nitrous car. We didn't want any of that stuff like that. We want a blower car, man. We want to have something that stands out. You got like 40 nitrous cars in one blower car, and I'll be more than happy to be that guy. But we went the route of the blower car and for the big Hemi stuff. That is actually what we know. That's the stuff that we've done. We're so familiar with it. And actually, we met a lot of the people that have helped us out, with our car through the Dragster days and stuff like that. So like we actually have great contacts. If we need help with something, we're in a pinch. Somebody's got something for us. The parts are available everywhere for a car like ours. So we're not handicapped to any of that. We're able to, if we need help, somebody down the road's got a part or something like that. It hasn't come to stuff like that, but we know that it's there. Plus, it's unique. It's something different. I mean, but it's like I said, there's nitrous cars everywhere. Blower cars just scream. They're loud. They have their own. It's a personality thing. I always like to think my car has a personality. She's moody as hell. It's usually either going to run or she's going to shake her damn ass off trying to kick me out of the seat. But no, it's honestly a combination that we're really super familiar with and like we know it. You know, I do a lot of the engine work. I do all of it at my house or in our shop. We assemble our own engines. We do all of it in-house. You know, if we need something done, it gets sent. But other than that, from top to bottom, from the time that it's put together, the time it's taken apart, it's me and my best friend. Both of us, we do it, and that's it. You know, it's something that we like, something we're familiar with.
Well, if you ever come up here and run with the Chicago Wiseguys, you got a bunch of blower guys in there to go against.
Oh yeah, that's what I would like. You know, we've always wanted to run with the Wiseguys. It's just it never seems for us to work out. And I had talked to, I believe it was Ken earlier this year at the Expo show, and he was talking about us. I think we're going to shoot for one of the Cordova weekends. One of the weekends at Cordova to come out and hang out with you guys and hang out with them and give it a shot. I'm actually kind of excited to come out and play.
All right, that'll be cool.
That'd be great. I mean, you know what? I've always looked up to the Wiseguys. I've always loved the Wiseguys. I love that spirit. You know, what you get is you get a lot of variety and a lot of that. They're not a single part of the same. And it's cool. You know, but between everything is there, and everyone's fast and it's fun. You know, they're having a good time. You're all enjoying what you're doing.
Oh yeah. That Pete Demo started that thing over 25 years ago now.
I remember that as a kid. I remember seeing the Wiseguys as kids. I mean, Jesus, it did. Us going up to Union Grove in like 2003, 2000, and I think I want to say 2003, 2002. You know, on a couple of those weekends, the Wiseguys were always up there. I remember. I can never remember whoever had that blown Beretta. That thing was the Lumina. I think it was a supercharged Lumina. That thing was one of the wildest looking race cars ever. I think that might have been Reckia's car actually. If I remember right, that might have been Reckia's car back in the day.
Look where he's at now. Look where he's at now.
Oh, look what he's got now. The baddest man in Pro Extreme, that's for sure. We knew he'd do it. He'd get the right equipment under him. That man's a bad man behind a builder race car. You know, that's where I'd like to be one day. If I can go Pro Boost, Pro Extreme racing, man, I'd settle right into a race car right there. That's for sure. For us, you know, we're small time guys trying to do it in a big time sport. It's a little difficult, but you know, we do it. We make it happen. We look after stuff. I take care of this thing. I come back in, and I don't care if it makes one run or if it makes 20 runs. The thing comes apart. It comes apart. It's back to maintenance. You know, that's what keeps the whole program alive. And we've made some mistakes. We've had some shit go wrong with us, but you know, nobody's perfect. But for us doing it small time, we do pretty well for the budget that we have.
So now, Ryan, how many crew members do you have, and who are the crew members?
There's 4 of us total. Between my mom, my dad, my best friend. That is it. That's all we got. You know, occasionally we'll have a 5th guy, but when we go racing, there's just 4 of us. You know, everybody's got a job. Everybody's got mom's got her job, computers, parachutes, you know, downloading stuff like that. Dad's working on tune-ups. Me and Matt, my buddy Matthew Domer, he came on 2015 and has never looked back with us, and he's been to almost every single race with us. And me and him service, ottoman, heads, pull blowers. We do all of it, you know. We run this thing like we're a pro mod team. It's, you know, we work a lot. Everyone's like, you guys work a lot. I say, you know what? That's what it takes for us to play. We're going to do it. That's what we want to do. I forgot. They said, a nitrous guy says, you blower guys like work. You blower guys like working a lot. And I looked it straight in the face and said, you know what? That's what it takes to qualify. So that's what we're going to do. You know, we're going to work. We're going to work, and we keep it small. I mean, my buddy Matt, I don't think I've never paid him. I never pay him, but I pay his way. He's the happiest dude ever. One, he likes tacos and stuff like that. So we feed him some tacos and some beers, and he's a happy camper. No, we keep it small. Like I said, this thing's a family operation for us.
Right.
Me and my mom, and my dad, and man, if I didn't have them, I wouldn't have any of this. You know, I'm pretty privileged to do what we're doing. You know, if it ended tomorrow, I could walk away from this with a lot of pluses in life. But I don't think, heck, I wouldn't be half the man I was if I didn't have them doing this thing.
Right. So, do you have any sponsors?
Not this year. We're struggling for sponsorship. That's something that's super hard to do. It's you know, I'm really hoping we can try to pick something up. We got a good bit of we have a little bit of funding that should last us through probably about half the season. After that, we're going to pray to God we can find somebody to give us a hand. You know, there's a lot. I think we can do a lot for the right person. It's just, making it happen. That's the hardest part, is making it happen. I believe we can. I know we can. We did well with our Ryko sponsorship for 3 years. They went their own way to do something else, and I, as it was pretty good. But as the companies go, they have to look out for themselves. So, but for the 3 years we had Ryko, I feel like we did a lot. They loved it. So I'm really hoping later this year maybe we'll find something. I mean, if somebody comes on after this, that'd be fantastic. We just want to go racing. That's it. We just want to go racing.
Right. So now, do you run all 8th mile, or you do quarter mile as well?
We actually got 1 quarter-mile race this year. We run that import-domestic deal that runs at US 131 in Martin, Kalamazoo. This will be our 3rd year running that race. That's our only quarter-mile race. And after that, most of this stuff is all 8th mile. There just happens to be a lot more 8th mile racing out there. It's easier in parts for us, but we do like the quarter mile stuff, because man, it is fun putting a full pull on a race car. It's not often we get to dip into 2 parachutes from time to time, but when we do, it's nice when they both blossom.
So what is your preference, quarter mile or 8th mile?
What do I prefer?
Yeah.
I don't know, that's hard to say. The 8th mile stuff's nice, but you know what, that quarter mile stuff like that, just having to drive that car that much longer, I do like the quarter mile stuff. I know for a fact my race car likes the 8th mile stuff. It's a little bit easier on it.
All right, so now what are some of your favorite tracks to run on?
Say that again?
What are some of your favorite tracks to run on?
US 131 is definitely our go-to. I'm Northwest Indiana. I drive 2 hours, 2.5 hours to that racetrack because, we love it there. We grew up racing there. That is my favorite track. Next to that, you got Milan Dragway just outside Detroit. That's just a fun place we've sort of fell in love with. You go there on a Friday night. I've never seen a racetrack that packs a place on a Friday night. They do this heads-up series that runs, I think, 6 or 7 races this year. First Friday of every month, they run Outlaw 10-5. They run Drag Radial. They run naturally aspirated class, open comp, stuff like that. And they fill the stands there on a Friday night. And it's crazy for a track that runs a Friday night deal. They make you feel like you're on top of the world. And the hospitality there is good. They take care of us when we're there. And then you got Norwalk. Norwalk's probably the Taj Mahal of racetracks, if you want to say it, for the Midwest. That's a place we love running. I mean, we ran a divisional there. We went a bunch of rounds at those races at that racetrack. I'd say like those 3 are our top 3 racetracks of the places we love going. We love going. Hope we can get some more this year. That's what I want. I want to do some more travel this year.
All right. So now, Ryan, when you get ready for a weekend of drag racing, what goes into preparation for you?
Well, mainly servicing that race car. The biggest thing is servicing the car. I always like having it about 2 days before we leave. That way, everything else can just focusing on just making sure that we have enough supplies and all stuff for the weekend. Most of the stuff stays, in the trailer. I carry all the parts and pieces. The whole shop stays in the trailer, basically. When the car's home, we unload just what we need to service it and put it back in. Realistically, it's making sure that the thing is clean, everything's serviced, everything's ready to go. It's got what's needed, fresh parts and all stuff like that. Making sure we got food, water, and blankets and pillows and toothbrushes. That's it. Generally, we always try to make sure we're at least ready a day ahead of when we need to leave, just in case. That's just the way we always do it. Luckily the shop's at my mom and dad's house, and if I'm not there, they can do something. Or if they're not there, I'm always there to do something. I think I spend more time there at the shop than I do at my own house. To be honest with you, I might as well just move in there at this rate. But you know what? Most of the stuff, it stays pretty simple with us. We usually have a pretty good game plan between me and my friend Matt. We usually will plan days out. Both of us work full time. I work 50-something hours a week. So I'm constantly busy, and his schedule floats. He changes rotations like that. But we always make it happen. We always find days to make sure that we're together to do a lot of this stuff. And No, the preparation really for us is just making sure the thing's serviced properly and ready to go back in the box.
Now, throughout your drag racing career, have you had any accidents or near accidents at all?
I've had her turn sideways on me a few times, but I haven't gotten any walls yet. I've had a few lane changes. You know, those are definitely those definitely wake you up. You know, up until this car now, I hadn't had any issues, and you know, a few times I would just call it just driver error, just flat out staying in the throttle too long, and I know it. I call myself doing it. I'm like, that was dumb, you know. And, well, heck, the first thing we ever went to Mile, and I made a lane stop after there's nobody in the other lane. And I still kick myself for that one because I look at the video and go, man, that was dumb. You stayed in that thing way too long. But, no, unfortunately not. I mean, fortunately not. We haven't had any issues with this so far. I don't know. I like to think that my head's on my shoulders when it comes to that. I try not to overdrive this race car. I try not to overdrive this thing. It's so easy to do these things because, you know, you're trying to anticipate it. You can't. You have to just kind of have to feel it, see what it's going to do, and sort of, you know, be quick to react to what it's going to do. And they're predictable. It's a pro mod. They're absolutely predictable race cars. 1 minute you can have the same setup in 2 runs and it won't do the same thing. It won't do the same thing. That's just the way they are, you know. But we're fortunate enough I haven't put the car in the wall yet, and I pray not to have to. Never will.
So now, what do you consider to be some of the milestones of your racing career?
I'd say, you know what, putting off. Actually, we got my first ever round win in the car was what was that? Indianapolis, 2015. We actually, I remember I hurt the transmission on Friday night. I remember this as a rookie. I bumped the trans brake in reverse, and it just shattered the reverse side of this car. And we missed Q1. We missed Q1 on Friday. No, we missed Q1, Q2 on Friday, and worked all night on this car to just to get the car back in so we could at least make a qualifying run. And I remember we were like 45th on the sheet. Go out there and blast out like a 635 at like 219 miles an hour to go to number 1 qualifier. And so then that put us in the shootout, the fast 4-car shootout. And I want to say it was who was it? It was B. Glenn Butcher, Lester Johnson, and Thurman. I can never remember his first name, but it was us 4 guys. And I think I remember I drew Lester first round. And I remember he broke. We went on down there and made a solid run. So that was like our first round win. And I had Glenn Butcher in the final, and we ended up sneaking around him somehow. All I remember is I saw a whole lot of nitrous car next to me. And I think we won that race. But the check was like for $400, but we were just like, we felt like we were on top of the world. That was like the coolest thing ever. You know, we didn't. You know, I told my dad, I'm like, let's qualify. Let's just make this car go down the racetrack. You know, if we lose, we get beat. But let's just see what we can do with it. We did way more than that. You know, as it goes on now, it's you know, I'd like to just if we can go A to B every weekend we go racing. You know, all I have to do is I just want to be able to say that someone beat me flat out. You know, my goal is like, you know, don't shoot for don't red light. That's my goal nowadays is just don't red light. You know. And if we get beat, we get beat. That's just where it's at. You know, give it everything we got and make an A to B run and make them work for it. You know, that's what we try to do now is just get the car down the racetrack. If we can get it going down the racetrack and we get beat, we get beat.
Okay, now are you ready for some fun questions before we end this interview?
Oh, absolutely. What do you got?
All right. Let's see how you answer this one. If someone said, Ryan, here's $200 million, can you build me a drag race track? Where would you want to build a drag race track, and what kind of features would you want to put into this track?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd say we need something probably. I'm not sure where you'd build one at, to be honest with you. I would try to build something probably like, if I can build something like friggin' Charlotte, if I can build something like that. Yeah, you'd build it on the racetrack. I don't know about 4-wide. Deal. I'm not a huge fan of that 4-wide, but it's cool. I'd say we try to do something middle Indiana. You know, the Midwest has a lot of racetracks around here, and it's crazy. But you know, another high caliber racetrack would not be a bad thing. Would not be a bad thing, that's for sure. I mean, what I figured out, from where I live in Valparaiso, Indiana, if I'm dead positive, I counted 20 racetracks within 5 hours of my house. And that's exactly why I love living here. But for $200 million, we built us one hell of a racetrack somewhere here in the Midwest, that's for sure.
Now, what kind of features would you want to put in it?
Actually, we actually got a friend of ours, Rick Kraft. He loves this idea of a fully enclosed drag strip. A fully covered racetrack. I've always thought that would be the coolest on this entire planet, to have a fully enclosed racetrack. Of course, the size of that building would be absolutely unreal. But that would be something that would be, if there was ever a way, any way impossible to have a fully roofed racetrack.
I actually have Rick Kraft coming on. I believe next week he's going to be on with the Invader funny car. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ricky Dicky has been probably one of our longtime friends, and honestly, probably one of the other guys that I'd say I look up to in my life as a racer. You know, he's got this intensity of him. He's a caring guy, and, you know, he ain't afraid to give his 2 cents. And honestly, you know, I always look forward to him. You know, if there's something, I ask him. He's the guy I ask if I got questions about something that I'm not sure about. Ricky, what do you think, man? You know, Ricky's always been we've known Ricky since, 1998 when he built his last funny car. My dad was involved with him and ran, I believe it was 3 seasons of IHRA alcohol funny car with Rick. So we've known Rick now for 20 years, and he's honestly been one of the greatest things we've ever had along with us. And he's straightened us out. Actually, he was just over at our shop last weekend, hanging out with us and doing some head work with us and stuff like that.
So, do you think you'd ever get behind the wheel of a Nitromethane funny car?
Oh, absolutely, in a heartbeat. Now, you'd have to say, I don't know, big show car, probably. A nostalgia car, though. I'm a huge fan of nostalgia stuff. I love the period correct funny cars, all that stuff like that. I'd love to hop behind the wheel of a nitro car. So, you know, we had our fair share of taste of the injected nitro car. Dad's actually in the works of building a fuel altered. Hoping one day he'll let me behind the wheel of that car. That'd be something I'd like to try. Just even if I had a couple 330-foot shots to say I've done it, I'd love to drive a nitro car just once in my life.
Yeah, that would be fun. So now,
I mean, I think that would be the next milestone in life, you know, and be to stay out of blast throttle on a nitro car here and there, you know.
Yeah. So now, Ryan, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing?
You know, and as I've gotten older, they've all kind of gone away as much as I used to do. I used to do a lot more as a kid, but you know, as we got older, this has become a full-time thing for me. In the wintertime, when we're not racing, I snowboard a lot. That's kind of my other go-to getaway. That's about the only thing that involves speed in the wintertime is my snowboarding, stuff like that. But I feel like even in the wintertime, I spend more time in the shop than I do there in the summertime. Because you're always thinking, you're always tinkering, you're always looking for better ideas, looking how to make something better. You know, everyone's just it is a hobby. It is a hobby for us, but at the same time, I feel like this is like, you know, it's a second job, but I enjoy it. That's the difference, you know. But no, other hobbies. I used to ride a lot as a kid. I used to ride quads and dirt bikes as a kid, but just as we started getting a little more serious into this stuff like that, I started focusing a lot more time on this, you know. Pretty privileged to do it, so I feel like I like taking, you know, responsibility for it and making it happen and making it happen right, you know.
Now, throughout your drag racing career, have you won any trophies?
Oh, if I can show you the whole trophy room I got, I brought it all to my house. Mom wanted it out of the house, so I had to bring it to my house. But I would say we've been very fortunate, you know, over the years to win as much as we did as kids. You know, we did rack up quite a lot. You know, I think, what was it? From 2006 to 2008, I was the track champion at Martin for 3 years in a row. And then actually in the same year, in 2008, I managed to be a track champion at Osceola. You know, I managed to have 2 track championships in one season, which, I was, going 3-peat, but then doing 2 in 1 year. That was something that was like probably one of the craziest milestones we ever had. And the other crazy part was building this car we got now. We've had it. We've won at least one race every season we've had it out. And that, that's something that I didn't put into perspective until, just this past winter. I'm like, man, we've done all right with this car. We're just a mom and pop team out of Northwest Indiana, and we've managed to turn on quite a few win lights with this car. And, I'm hoping we can keep it going. I think we can. I think we have us a decent race car that, bids pretty well in the Midwest. So I'd like to see, if it, I'm hoping we can dip ourselves into the 90s this year. If we can put ourselves into the 390 range this year, I think we got a good shot at winning a lot of these 8 mile heads up deals. There's a lot of good races around here. So, the Midwest is a very, very, very tough area to race in. So I mean, it's kind of fun knowing that we're somewhere up in the mix with a lot of these guys. Guys have been doing it for a long time. But I think we stand a pretty good chance.
So, what's your favorite food?
Favorite food? Tacos. Oh, don't even start me. Tacos, man. Actually, you know what? I just came from my freaking local watering hole a little while ago having Taco Thursday, man. That's what I like. Actually, somewhere on that race car, there's a Tacos rule sticker hit somewhere. I still haven't found it. Supposedly it's on there somewhere. Someone put one on there for me. Tacos. There's nothing that actually. Well, I'm half Mexican, so that just goes. That right there just speaks for itself.
What's your favorite beverage?
Oh God, non-alcoholic or alcoholic? That's the real question.
Either, or you want to answer both? You can do both.
I was gonna say I'll take a good glass of Maker's Mark and a Coke if that's easy. If I can have a thing of Dr. Pepper, and that's it for me.
What's your favorite music?
I'd say metal, rock, good, a little bit of heavy metal here and there. You kind of dip into some, little bit of classic rock and stuff like that, but I'd say we stick with metal. In our pit, we got freaking speakers rolling. We're playing.
What's your favorite metal band?
Ooh, that's hard. I don't know if I have one. I just like metal. I can't play favorites with all of them because I don't know.
So
of course, metal. There's varieties of metal. But I would just say I just like anything that's got a damn good guitar solo in it.
Yeah, how about a top 3 favorite metal bands?
Oh, I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. Top 3 metal bands. I don't even know. You know what? I never even put it into thought. I like music. I'm a music guy for sure. So
what do you say metal? You like heavy, like Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, stuff like that? Or?
Yeah, I'd say Metallica. Metallica's been up on that list for sure. All the older stuff and the newer stuff. I think, I'd say if you want to go into Metallica, it would be it, because, just about every damn song, that's for sure.
Okay. Now, you have a favorite movie of all time?
Ooh, that's a good question. V for Vendetta, if anybody's ever seen that, Hugo Weaving and Natalie Portman, pretty good movie. It's kind of like a British film, but hey, it's just a good story. Good idea behind the whole thing, and that's it. Usually I'm a big Marvel guy, but as far as that movie goes, though, Lever that has got my heart. That's for sure.
So now, if people listening want to find your schedule, what's the best way for them to find it online?
Right now, I have it on Instagram, and I do believe I have it on Facebook too. The Instagram is rhill3387. You can usually go on there and find it. I believe we're going to update it. We were going to go chase NMCA Pro Mod this year a little bit, but they've kind of made a rule change this year and decided to throw screw-blown cars as a deal, and that just that throws that field wide open, and we're no 370 car, so I think it's going to change a little bit. We are going to stay primarily in the Midwest this year. Detroit's going to be our big one. I think we do race at Cordova for a pro mod shootout, then I believe we are going to do the one Chicago Wiseguys race out that way.
Okay, well.
But hey, go ahead.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Say that again?
I said, what were you going to say?
We were just going to be out. The Wiseguys race is the one we're going to do, and then I believe Steve Roden has a pro mod shootout that possibly is going that way, or the Grove. We don't know which one, but like most of our races will be in the Midwest this year.